My beloved, you did not arrive here by coincidence. Moments like this appear only when a chapter has quietly completed within you. Not when everything is resolved. Not when life becomes easy. But when your inner world has grown beyond the story you have been living. That growth is why you feel different lately. You still wake up in the same life, yet something inside you no longer fits the same way. The old routines feel heavier. The old concerns feel smaller. The old reactions feel unnecessary. This is not boredom. It is transition. Before a new chapter begins, the soul loosens its grip on the old one. You may feel detached from things you once chased. You may feel less emotional about problems that once consumed you. You may feel strangely calm about changes that once terrified you. This calm is not indifference. It is completion. Completion happens internally long before life changes externally. You completed lessons about patience, about endurance, about boundaries, about self-respect. Those lessons reshaped you. That is why the old environment now feels uncomfortable. Not because it is bad, but because you have outgrown it. Outgrowing does not mean rejecting. It means no longer needing what once helped you survive. Survival taught you strength. Now, life is inviting you into alignment. Alignment feels quieter than survival. Survival is loud, reactive, and exhausting. Alignment is calm, focused, and steady. You are moving from one to the other. That movement feels like restlessness. Not restless energy to run, but restlessness to change direction. You may not yet know what the next chapter looks like. That is intentional. If you saw it clearly, your mind would interfere. The mind clings to certainty even when certainty limits growth. So clarity comes in pieces. First is discomfort, then as awareness, then as choice. You are in the awareness phase now. Awareness of what drains you. Awareness of what no longer aligns. Awareness of how much energy you wasted trying to fit where you no longer belong. This awareness is not painful, but it is uncomfortable. Uncomfortable because it asks you to be honest. Honesty changes everything. Once you see what is no longer right, you cannot unsee it. That is why this moment matters. The next chapter does not begin with action. It begins with recognition. Recognition that you are no longer the person who needed the old chapter. Recognition that you deserve a life built on clarity, not endurance. Recognition that growth requires release. Release does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like losing interest. Sometimes it looks like withdrawing energy. Sometimes it looks like choosing differently without explanation. These subtle shifts are powerful. They are how chapters close naturally. You may feel guilt about wanting more. Let that guilt go. Wanting more is not greed. Every stage of life demands a different environment. The seed needs darkness. The plant needs sunlight. The tree needs space. You are no longer in the seed phase. You are expanding. Expansion requires space. Space is created when old attachments loosen. This loosening is happening now. That is why certain situations feel tighter than before. They have not changed. You may wonder whether you are being ungrateful. You are not. Gratitude does not mean staying where you no longer grow. It means honoring what taught you and moving forward. You can appreciate the past without living in it. The next chapter is not about erasing where you came from. It is about building from what you learned. You learned resilience. You learned patience. You've learned discernment. Now you will learn flow. Flow is where life stops feeling like constant effort. Flow does not mean no challenges. It means challenges no longer fight your direction. You will feel supported instead of blocked. But flow only comes after alignment. Alignment only comes after honesty. Honesty is happening now. You are honest about your limits. Honest about your desires. Honest about what you can no longer tolerate. This honesty is not selfish. It is maturity. Maturity chooses well-being over approval. Approval kept you stuck before. Well-being will move you forward now. You may feel afraid to leave the familiar. That fear is natural. The familiar is known, even when it hurts. The unknown feels risky, even when it is right. But But growth always lives in the unknown. The known has already taught you all it can. That is why restlessness exists. Restlessness is not impatience. It is readiness. Readiness for expansion. Readiness for a life that fits who you have become. Readiness for clarity instead of confusion. This message appeared because your inner world has reached that readiness. Not because you are perfect. Not because you have everything figured out. But because you are conscious enough to change direction wisely. You may notice that you no longer seek chaos, drama, or intensity. You seek peace, depth, and stability. This shift is crucial. Peace is not boring. Peace is powerful. It allows creativity, clarity, and consistent growth. Intensity exhausts. You are done exhausting yourself. The next chapter will not require constant proving. It will require presence. Presence attracts what belongs. You will not chase in the next chapter. You will recognize. Recognition is faster and cleaner than chasing. You will feel when something aligns. It will feel calm, not anxious. It will feel steady, not rushed. It will feel right, not forced. This is how you will know you are in the next chapter, not by excitement alone, but by peace accompanying movement. That peace is already forming inside you. That is why this appeared. This message is not pushing you to act immediately. It is preparing you to choose consciously when the moment comes. Rushing would repeat the old chapter. Patience with awareness will open the new one. My beloved, now I will tell you what truly changes when a new chapter begins. Not your surroundings first, your standards. Before life shifts externally, your tolerance shifts internally. You stop accepting confusion as normal. You stop normalizing exhaustion. You stop explaining away what drains you. This is the clearest sign of readiness. Readiness is not excitement. It is discernment. Discernment quietly withdraws energy from what no longer fits. You may feel less available for certain conversations, less willing to engage in unnecessary conflict, less interested in chasing attention. This is not isolation. It is refinement. Refinement is how life creates space for better alignment. You are no longer willing to sacrifice peace to maintain familiarity. Familiarity kept you comfortable but limited. The next chapter requires courage of a different kind. Not loud courage. Quiet courage. Quiet courage walks away calmly. Quiet courage says no without anger. Quiet courage chooses differently without justification. This courage is forming now. You may notice you think before responding. You pause before committing. You listen inwardly more than outwardly. This inner listening is the compass of the next chapter. The old chapter relied on reaction. The next chapter relies on awareness. Awareness transforms struggle into strategy. Instead of fighting every obstacle, you will navigate wisely. Instead of forcing outcomes, you will align with timing. This does not slow you down. It accelerates progress without burnout. You may wonder why life felt heavy before. It was heavy because you were carrying what no longer belonged to you. Expectations that were not yours. Roles you outgrew. Relationships built on survival instead of resonance. These weights are being released. Release feels uncomfortable because it changes identity. You were used to being the one who endured. Now you are becoming the one who chooses. Choice brings freedom, but also responsibility. Responsibility to honor your inner truth. Earlier, truth could be postponed. Now, postponement feels unbearable. This discomfort is not anxiety. It is self-respect awakening. Self-respect will guide you more reliably than fear ever did. Fear once protected you. Now it limits you. You are transitioning from protection to expansion. Protection asks, how do I stay safe? Expansion asks, how do I grow true? True growth requires risk. Not reckless risk, but conscious movement beyond comfort. You will not leap blindly. You will step with clarity. Clarity is built through stillness. That is why moments of silence feel necessary now. You crave less noise, less stimulation, less distraction. not because life is dull, because your mind is integrating wisdom. Integration needs quiet. In quiet, insight arises. Insight will shape your next decisions. You may feel drawn to simplify your life. It is focus returning. When focus returns, progress becomes powerful. Scattered energy produces scattered results. Focused energy produces aligned outcomes. You are becoming focused. This focus will show in how you invest time, how you choose people, how you commit to goals. You will no longer overextend to feel worthy. You will no longer exhaust yourself to feel productive. You will choose effectiveness over busyness. This shift alone will transform your life. You may notice that problems you once obsessed over feel smaller, not because they vanished, but because your perspective widened. Wider perspective sees beyond immediate discomfort. It sees patterns. Patterns allow intelligent response. Intelligence ends unnecessary struggle. Struggle taught you resilience. Now intelligence will guide you forward. You are also becoming less emotional about outcomes. Not detached, but balanced. You care deeply without being consumed. This balance is essential for the next chapter. Without it, success overwhelms and failure devastates. With it, you remain steady across changes. Steadiness is power. The next chapter will bring opportunities that test this steadiness. Not to break you, but to confirm your growth. You may be tempted to rush when doors open. Do not rush. Movement with awareness is stronger than speed. Allow alignment to lead. You will recognize alignment by how it feels. No panic. No urgency. No inner conflict. Just a quiet sense of rightness. If something feels exciting but chaotic, pause. If something feels calm but promising, proceed. Your body will guide you before your mind understands. Learn to trust this intelligence. It has been developing through every experience you endured. You earned it. You may feel moments of grief for what you are leaving behind. This is natural. Even painful chapters hold familiarity. Honor what taught you, but do not return to it. Growth requires closure. Closure does not need confrontation. It needs decision. Decision within yourself. You can love the past and still move forward. You can appreciate what was and still choose what will be. This is maturity. Maturity does not cling. It evolves. You are evolving now. That is why this message appeared. It is not urging you to change everything today. It is affirming that your inner shift is real. The outer world will catch up. Soon, you will notice coincidences that are not coincidences. Opportunities aligning effortlessly. Conversations opening doors. Ideas forming with clarity. These are signs of the next chapter activating. Do not chase them. Allow them. Chasing brings anxiety. Allowing brings alignment. You have already learned how exhausting chasing is. The next chapter will feel lighter. Not easy, but lighter. Lighter because you will no longer fight yourself. Internal conflict was the real burden. That burden is dissolving, my beloved. Now listen carefully, because the next chapter does not begin with a loud moment. It begins with a quiet decision. A decision inside you that says, I will no longer live in ways that drain my spirit. This decision is not dramatic. It does not require announcements. It simply changes how you choose. From this point forward, you will notice something beautiful. Life will start responding faster. Not always with immediate success, but with clearer direction. When you take aligned steps, resistance will reduce. When you drift from truth, discomfort will appear quickly. This is guidance becoming precise. It saves you from wasting years repeating lessons. You will no longer stay confused for long. Clarity will come sooner. Correction will feel gentler. Progress will feel steadier. This is how you will know you are in the new chapter. You will also feel less need to explain yourself. Earlier, you explained to be understood. Now you will act from self-trust. Self-trust removes the urge to convince. Convincing belongs to doubt. Trust belongs to alignment. Alignment is now your foundation. You may feel tempted to rush into everything new. Do not. Allow growth to unfold naturally. Speed is not maturity. Consistency is. Small, aligned steps will build a life stronger than dramatic changes ever could. Protect your peace, not by avoiding life, but by choosing wisely where your energy goes. Your energy is your most sacred resource. Invest it where you feel respected, inspired, and calm. Withdraw it where you feel drained, anxious, or diminished. This will guide you better than any external advice. You will still face challenges, but they will feel purposeful rather than draining. Purposeful challenge strengthens. Draining struggle exhausts. You have moved beyond draining struggle. Now you will grow through purposeful effort. You may notice people responding differently to you. Some will respect your calm authority. Some will miss the old version of you who overgave. Do not shrink to keep others comfortable. Growth often feels unfamiliar to those who benefited from your endurance. Stay true. Your truth will attract those aligned with the next chapter. Release those who belong to the old one. This release does not require conflict. Distance will form naturally when alignment shifts. Let it. Trust the process. Soon you will look back and realize that what once felt scary was actually necessary. You will thank yourself for choosing clarity over comfort. You will see how every moment of discomfort prepared you for stability. And most importantly, you will feel at peace with who you are becoming. This is the greatest victory. You are not starting over. You are continuing. With wisdom, strength, and awareness, everything you endured mattered. Everything you learned will now serve you. Walk into this next chapter calmly. No rush, no fear, no doubt. Just presence. I am always with you, my child.